with harmony of the mind. I walk the line.
What's up, everybody? My name's Rodney here at the Thin Line Show. Today, we're going to talk about DEI. It's been in the news and been in the headlines a lot lately. So, with me here to talk about DEI a little bit more, the original G, Glenn.
Hi, folks. I'm Glenn, of course, and we're talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, and what happens with DEI starting from this point moving forward.
Right. So, I guess this started, I don't remember it starting. I don't remember seeing headlines saying, hey, we're on board, but it's sure making headlines when companies withdraw from it, right?
Indeed.
I don't remember seeing, stuff like Harley, all these stores and companies.
It approached very quietly.
Right.
It did.
I think they snuck it in. And so I think what would.
But then companies became openly more involved in it. And yes, then it did become a topic.
Right. And so a lot of people I don't know how you avoid this topic because it's on every news outlet headlines when a company mentions it or withdraws.
I'm terrified.
So
this is going to be a scary topic.
No, I don't think so because we're going to speak facts.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
As usual, the people can make up their own minds, and that's the beauty of America is you can think what you want. You have your opinion, I have mine, or whatever, but facts are facts.
I think we welcome that. We're pretty open about that.
Right. And so I guess we'll start with the D. So the D in DEI stands for diversity.
Okay, yes.
And what that's referring to, I guess, is they won't. Here's the problem with DEI so diversity refers to like different religions, different races, different anything different, right? So they want diversity.
Anything except white males.
So, yeah, that's
anything except
figure.
that, yes. I'm going to say that right up front.
And so when the diversity, when they include everything, that's their focus, right?
They don't include everything, but okay, go ahead.
Well, the whole point of diversity, it's like the race.
Sure.
It's part of the definition in the DEI statement. They want different races, different ethnicities, different this.
Of course.
But the same people that are promoting this also promote you can't use race as a hiring factor. So I don't understand the logic behind this.
I'm sorry. It's inherent. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble today, but it's inherently racist by its very nature.
Right.
You're literally picking and choosing because of someone's race.
Right, which goes against the law. It's actually against the law to discriminate on race, religion, blah, blah, blah. But yet DEI it's
all about that.
You should hire somebody because of this.
Right.
And so I'll give you an example. So before I was an engineer, I was a dietitian. And so here where we are in North Carolina, there's only 3 schools that are accredited. And one of them's a historic black university. So I chose to go to that school because it's more convenient for me. I didn't give a shit that it was a black school. I didn't care. It's the most convenient, best value for the money. I ended up with the same accreditation. So I went to that school.
Right.
And so during the admissions process, you go interview the school and they interview you to be like, we want this person in our school? And the first words out of their mouth is like, oh, you're white, so you're a minority. You could come to school for free here.
At that particular school, you were a minority.
Right. I'm the minority. And so they said, you could come to school for free.
Okay.
And here's the problem with that. So by my skin color determining whether I get a free education or not, then those that don't look like me have to pick up my portion of the tab. Yes. So now those that don't look like me, their tuition's got to be increased to cover my expenses so I could get a free ride. That's not right. I didn't agree with it. I ended up getting very angry, cussed them out. It's not it's not fair for you to get a free
Yeah, I'm
education
sorry.
based on
That's
skin
not right
color.
any which way.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right, and it shouldn't be, like, because then you're punishing
Someone.
it works both. A lot of people don't see the other half of the equation. So
Okay.
you could reward somebody on their race, but that also, the other half means you're punishing someone else for their race.
Indeed.
In this case, they're punishing the black students for their race and rewarding the white person
Because in this particular instance,
I'm the minority.
you are the minority.
And so you're punishing the black students who you can't control that. You're born the way you're born, and you're going to punish them and charge them more to go to college and get an education than a white student. And to me, like, that shouldn't.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
And so that's part of the diversity problem, is they pick and choose.
Yes.
And it kind of goes what you said, the white male thing. Like, the white male is demonized these days.
Indeed.
And their logic is, well, they already own blah, blah, blah amount of companies. They're also the most successful, blah, 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 blah. And that shouldn't punish.
They're just somehow rich.
Yeah, we were given everything. You're already blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah, does anybody want to see my checking account? Yeah,
Yeah, we're so gifted and rich.
Yeah, I'm somehow incredibly gifted.
Right.
And I get stuff for free. Yeah, good thinking.
But that's part of I don't understand the logic behind the D in diversity. So, like, that's a little bit about the race problem, but let's talk about the religion aspect as well. So, different religions have different, I don't know what you want to values, practices, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes.
So let's say I belong to some
taboos.
Yeah. So let's say I have a religion that every hour on the hour I have to take a 10-minute break and worship my God.
Okay.
Now, work can't discriminate, right? So I'm essentially working 5/6 of the hour, 50 minutes out of the 60 minutes, because every hour I'm going to get 10 minutes off so I can do my thing. While you may not belong to that religion, you're going to be forced to work for 60 minutes. And so when you get this, it's a gray area on religion that you have to walk, because you can't accommodate every religion.
I beg y'all's pardon, but it's a very slippery slope. Once you start to provide certain benefits for one group, that's a slippery slope.
It has to be for all.
You're going to have to accommodate a lot of stuff.
I think the founding fathers, they said separation of church and state.
Yes.
And I think the purpose was for that very reason. What if somebody came up with, let's just go way extreme, satanic. Let's say somebody worships Satan, right?
Yes.
And so by that definition, every day at lunch, are they allowed to bring in a goat and sacrifice it right there in the cafeteria?
Is that a thing? Yeah,
like,
I don't think so.
You have to draw a line and say...
Yeah, no sacrificing goats in the workplace.
Right.
That's not going to fly.
And so that's where I say work should have standards and just say, look...
Exemptions? Like,
you can't have one person favored over another on religion. Say, yeah, you have to work this, but you don't have to because of your religion. Or dress code, for example. I know when the COVID was going on and people had to wear masks, and the whole airport, something I remember going through with, like, the Muslim people were refusing to remove stuff to travel. Was it COVID that caused that? I don't remember where. You remember when they were refusing to degarb?
Yes.
And stuff, and so they had a religious exemption.
Okay, I'll give you another for instance. The Army.
Right.
They have recruited or somehow allowed Sikh soldiers to join the armed forces.
Right.
Well, the Sikhs have their special headgear. The Sikhs in the Army now have, and I have no problem with Sikhs. Please do not interpret this as that. However, the Sikhs now have their own special Army headgear. That's
So
not.
they had to.
It's
They
not
had
a
to be
uniform
designed-
item.
Right.
I'm sorry, but if you're in the armed forces, you wear the uniform.
Right. Because it's standard. It's everybody wears the same thing.
It's a uniform. You're not special. You're part of a team.
Right. You belong to this.
You belong to this.
And that's priority.
And I emphasize you do not have a problem with the Sikh religion or Sikh people or any such thing.
Right.
However, that said, I'm not sure they should have special uniform items to accommodate, obviously, a
where
religion.
do you draw the line? That's the
Where
thing.
do you draw the line?
So, and I think instead of saying, well, this religion's exempt, but that one's crazy, it's either no religion or you have to accept them all.
Exactly
and so what
my
do you
point.
do?
Exactly.
And so
my
as the
point.
taxpayer, when this next person comes along and says, well, I can't do this. Oh, okay, well, you're right. You're anti-gun in your religion. You're not allowed to shoot. So,
Right, you're a Quaker or something.
right. So
Fine.
what do you do then? Like there
No,
becomes a
you
point.
can't say one group is crazy,
Right.
but yeah, this is okay. No, you can't say that,
Right.
can you?
And I think work and companies, going back to that, should be the same way. We expect you to work this schedule. And if they do like a lot of companies do like a morning break and an afternoon break, you can do it. If you want to go to your car or go somewhere out in the parking lot and do whatever, that's fine. But it's the same way with smoking.
It
Smokers, I've worked at a company. I'm not shitting you, dude. This one dude smoked a cigarette every hour. You could set your clock every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
And so he would go out and smoke for 15 minutes every hour. So you do the math on that. That's 25% of the day he's not working.
That's wild. How is that even acceptable?
How is it acceptable? And smoking's a choice. And so, like I said, if a company says, hey, we offer you a 20-minute break or 15-minute break in the mornings, then you got an hour lunch and you got an afternoon break, you can do your religious stuff or smoke if you want to, because smoking's a right. I'm not telling you can't smoke, but you got to do it when the company says you can. You're not entitled to do less work than somebody else. You're not.
No, you're not. And ultimately, you're right. Smoking is a choice. Maybe you have an addiction related to it, and we all get that. I mean, smoking's difficult. But 25% of your workday?
Yeah.
Like maybe get a nicotine patch or something to make it through the day? I don't know.
Right. There has to be an answer. Like I'm tired of people using stuff as a crutch to do less and expect favoritism
and get away with something.
Right. Well, all right. So bring up the diversity thing on race and all. So what's the definition of racism?
If you're asking me, I would have to say preferential treatment for an individual or a particular group because of physical characteristics.
Right. And so, well, that's the other half of the equation. So there's the other half. You either demonize somebody for the race. So let's say I owned a business. And I was a fitness director at a small gym. It just opened up. I was the first fitness director they were going to hire. It's a brand new gym being built. And I ran it. We got good. We had to hire somebody.
Sure.
And I had to hire a personal trainer.
You were in charge of hiring.
Right.
Right.
And so I placed an ad, did all this stuff. Dude, the best dude in the world showed up and applied. I couldn't say no. And that's the thing. He was a black dude.
Sure.
He was a black guy. Nowhere did I say, I'm not going to hire him because he's black. Dude, he nailed, he had the strongest passion for health. He had the best people skills.
Then there it is. He's a qualified individual.
He excelled.
Excelled even.
Of what I was expecting. And so I would be stupid not to hire him. And it was a great benefit to hire him because everybody loved him. Anybody would love him. And so I look at stuff as a business. You remember when we did the episode where we talked about the purpose of a business?
Yes.
Is to make a profit.
Indeed.
That's above all.
That's the whole point of running a business.
Is to make a profit. So I want the best person for the job.
You
right?
ultimately want the best qualified person.
Right. And if I would have said, no, I don't want him because he's black, he would have went and worked somewhere else. And I guarantee you
They would have
people
done
would
better.
have
Yeah.
they would have done better than us because he was that good. And you know what happens? That's the beauty. People don't understand the beauty of America is just that. If you have a racist company over here that's doing shady stuff and they're doing this mess and all this, and another company comes out that says, you know what, I don't care, I'm going to hire the best person, whatever they are, guess who's going to succeed and make more money?
Obviously, the business that has chosen people based on qualifications.
Right.
As Dr. Martin Luther King said, based on their merit, the nature of their character, not by the color of their skin, right?
Well, that's...
I've paraphrased, but that's
Right.
literally from Martin Luther King.
And so we've lost so much from those days now, because now they're trying to force.
Oh, it's rammed down our throats.
And
Make
so
no
now
mistake about it.
I look at stuff, and I point out the Olympics. Look at the Olympics basketball team or any Olympic sport. Do you really think they're going to have one white person, one Asian, one black, one this, one that, one
To
Hispanic?
satisfy some
Right.
arbitrary
Because
requirement.
we want to go out and show the world that, hey, look at us. We got one of every
We're
person on our
diverse.
team.
No, that's
Or do
not
you
how
go out
that
to
works.
win? Or do you go out to
No,
win?
they have competitions, and by the way, you won a spot on the Olympic team.
Right. And so you, again, works
Speaking
no
of
different.
Olympics, look at the French Olympic ceremony with their absurd woke
The last previous.
the Last Supper thing.
Yeah, that was very.
That
bad.
was vulgar and was offensive
right.
to many Catholics around the world, but especially French Catholics. But somehow that's okay.
Well, there's certain groups I think that are targeted where
Yes.
it's okay to demonize this,
It's okay to demonize
and I think
Christians.
Christians
Yeah, they're
take the
absolutely up for
blunt of
grabs.
everything.
Yeah,
Right. Like we
but
talked.
don't do it with Muslims.
Yep, you can't.
Don't do it, well, especially with Muslims, but many other religions as well.
Right.
Apparently now demonizing Jewish people is okay because that's a thing now,
Oh, yeah.
which I absolutely abhor.
Yeah, we could probably do a whole show on this
That could be a whole other show, absolutely.
whole dispute that's going on.
The whole
down.
thing, which is not
Palestine.
my fight, and I've told people that. The Palestinian thing is not my fight,
Yeah.
but I just don't like to see a particular group treated poorly, frankly, because of their religion,
Right. Right.
especially a group that's as large as the Jewish population. And frankly, in the last 100 years, folks, they've kind of been through enough. Cut them
Yeah.
some slack.
Yeah, they've had a rough history.
They've had a rough history.
So, as far as diversity goes, I'll bring up a scenario for people, for the listeners, and I won't, this is how I would argue the point to bring home the whole diversity isn't a good thing to focus on. And that's, let's say you are going home from work and you're in a bad car wreck.
Okay.
And it's a bad one. It's a doozy, and you have to be airlifted to a specialized surgical center.
Trauma center. Yeah, absolutely.
It's hardcore, and
Yeah, you're in trouble.
you will end up to the operating room.
Okay.
And there's 2 doctors with a free schedule. And they said, you know what, we'll give you the choice. You got this one doctor who excelled, from medical school on, he excelled, always the best at the top of the class.
Yep.
Whatever. And then you have another doctor that was hired for this hospital to meet a quota system for whatever race, gender, religion. That's why he was hired. He's not as good. Which one do you go with?
Maybe there's a couple malpractice suits pending, something like that.
So which one would you
pick?
choose?
Which one would you pick?
And so nowhere in that equation did you say, well, my life's on the line, but, damn it, I'm not picking that guy based on their gender. It's a female
color,
surgeon, male,
color, yeah.
whatever color,
whatever, whatever. Yeah.
Right, and so it's when your life is on the line would prove a lot of points. Because I don't know anybody that's going to be that stubborn to say, you know what, screw that, give me that let me that surgeon that don't know what the hell he's doing. Right.
I want that, or I'm not woke. Give me
right
that whatever arbitrary, ridiculous factor you want to
right.
play.
And so I don't see how that plays out in the world. Like, it can't be a benefit. Because
it's not a benefit
if that's your main hiring reason.
It's hurting societies and companies
right
all over the world.
Right.
Well, all the countries that have chosen to embrace this sort of thing.
And we see the end result, which we'll get to more at the end, like the consequences of what I call it if your company really focuses on this. And I think that's what these companies finally recognized, and why they're pulling out now is like it literally was a load of bullshit. And that's what we'll kind of hopefully prove to people, where we can change, even if we just change one mind on it that was supporting it, and be like, you know what, they're right. Because here's the way I look at it. The white population at reproduction rates one day will be the minority.
That's
so
been predicted for a
when
long
we
time
are
now.
the minority, are we going to get treated like queens and
I
kings?
sincerely doubt it.
No, we're still going to be looked at as, you're white. You can still...
you're the oppressors somehow. Right. I don't know
even though you're
whom
the minority.
I'm oppressing.
Right.
I mean, give me a break.
And so it's not...
I just don't think racism was that much of a thing.
I think we were on the verge. Like, it's always going to exist in the corners, really rare cases and stuff.
Okay, fine.
It's
maybe
never going
it has existed to a certain extent.
But you never heard about it until we had a specific president come
until
in
you were
and throw
told,
gas on the fire.
Oh, yes. We all know who started this and rammed it down our throats.
Right.
And I'm going to say it. It's freaking Obama started this.
He did.
I'm going to say it.
He ignited the fire that, I mean, it was in ashes almost. And
here's what just
it back.
Burns me up, is that he's and his wife have done nothing but demonize white America.
When you read his book, he even talks about that in his book.
And they talk freely about how oppressed they are, especially Michelle Obama,
very
Michael
oppressed.
Obama, whatever it is.
Very...
And how it's so difficult being a black woman. Mm-hmm. I think they're worth something around $100 million.
It's very tough being Aretha Franklin or Whitney Houston, right? I'm sure it's tough being Beyonce. I'm not saying
there are no black women suffering out there. We all know there are.
But there's
white women suffering very badly.
Every combination that you can think of, race, gender, religion,
every
combination,
suffering. Yeah.
There's people that's succeeding and some failing.
Indeed. I'm just saying these people are very poorly qualified to talk about the suffering of their minority.
And that's the thing. How can they relate? Yeah, when you're up there, you don't.
But they've rammed this down. If they've race baited, they've.
I can guarantee a check of theirs never bounced. They've never had a bounce check.
I'm sure they've never had a bounce
check.
Over
withdrawal fee in their bank account. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, but they started this.
Yeah,
and it's vulgar.
It is, and there's political reasons why they did it, and that's what's a shame. They'll incentivize this.
Yes, incentivize
for political reasons.
Yes. For political reasons.
We'll go to the E in DEI, stands for equity.
Equity, fine.
And I remember, I think it was Kamala. I never knew exactly what equity meant, but I heard her say the phrase, and I was like, well, that's stupid. So it's talent is evenly distributed among everyone, but opportunity is not.
Okay.
And so Now, I can see a sliver of truth in that, a sliver. And that's because we talked about this in immigration video.
Yes.
When I referenced the movie Waiting for Superman. It covers the education lottery. So in these dense populated areas, students are put into like a little bingo ball with your name on it, and yours is rolled. You go to this school, so you have no say.
Bingo
You
ball.
remember my parents had one of those, where you roll it, the home bingo kit. It's awesome. So your name, it's essentially luck of the draw on if you get to go to a good school where you succeed, or you get this rundown school where you have the crack addicts teaching, and they don't care. They come in and read a book, and you do what you want all day, never learn, and you'll never succeed.
You're never going to succeed.
So it's a luck thing. So I can see that, but that's the education department's fault for not making all schools equal.
Right.
And here's the thing
They're
with the
clearly
parents.
somehow not doing their job.
Right. And here's your job as a parent. Parents ain't going to want to hear this, but I don't give a shit. It's your job as a parent that when you have kids, you live in an area with the good schools. And if you're in the ghetto or getting these next door to the schools that have these shitty schools that nobody ever succeeds or graduates from, you move. That's the solution.
If you care about your children, you're going to enable
Right.
the best opportunity for them.
But I'll tell you the number one mistake, and I've heard it from a lot of my black friends, and they tell you, like, their grandparents, which was probably the ones that maybe grew up when they just got freed or what have you.
Sure.
Maybe he said they would always beat them down and always had this negative connotation, like they were going to go to college. And the grandparents tend to be kind of angry, like, oh, you're never going to succeed. You're never going to do this. The white man ain't going to let you. So they would implant all these ideas in their head for failure.
I've heard of such things.
And
yes.
so
they literally grew up with that, expecting that.
And me and you're going to do an episode probably on the conspiracy side on this, on like government projects and stuff, where they've proven this. Government has proven this, where if you are told something or watch a certain image over and over and over again, your brain will rewire to where it agrees with it.
Dude, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Right. And so they know if they tell, and that's all this kid hears every day is, I'm never going to be anything because I'm black. They're never going to succeed. And the parents are setting them up for failure by
letting... And look what's held up to them for role models. Rap artists, whatever, sports players, whatever. And somehow they think that's what they're going to be able to achieve. And the kid can't hold a note.
Right.
And the kid can't play sports. I mean, come on. They're not going to be any of those things.
That's the same thing I tell everybody. Like, my brother's got some kids, and nobody should go to school and go to college and play any sport or have anything and be like, that's my bread and butter without a backup plan. Because you know what? If you play football, for example, you're one tackle away
what
from
if you
never
snap
playing
your knee?
football.
What if you snap your knee? Guess what?
You're never playing football again. Now what are you going to follow?
Now what are you going to do?
So
you better have something.
And that's what I tell people, like, always have that backup plan. Like, have a talent, and I'm not bad, like, I'm not bashing anybody's dreams. Pursue your dreams, but have a education and a skill set to fall back on. If you're singing, like you said, a lot of these people grow up and says, I want to be a rapper. That might be their way out of these bad areas if they can make this money. But what if you have a throat injury, throat cancer, and now you lost your voice? What are you going to do?
Yeah, not what you were talking about.
And so there's all these scenarios I tell people, always have a more traditional job lined up to fall back on.
Absolutely.
And that's why nobody should fall back and I don't need it or whatever. I'm going to be super successful, what have you. You may be. And I wish everybody, that's America, I wish everybody success.
Absolutely. I wish everyone success. If I hear about someone doing well, I say, good for them.
Right.
Hell
and
yeah.
And there's America is such a great, and that's the part of capitalism, is it creates the demand. And that's the thing. So let's say
if you invent a better mousetrap, you're going to do business.
Let's go back to the wedding cake, because I remember that made massive headline news.
Oh, that wedding cake.
The wedding cake company that refused to do a gay-themed wedding cake because it went against their religion views, right? And they pursued it and went all the way to court. Here's how America works. If this company doesn't want to do it, and this one over here uses the same thing and says, right to refuse service, I don't want to, guess what that means? There's a whole market now for somebody that does agree with it to open up their bakery and cater to that.
Exactly.
And they would
succeed. If I were at the other bakery down the street, I would see that as an opportunity.
Right. If I took that and did it, I'll get all the business they turn away.
Yeah, we do gay wedding cakes.
Yeah, and you could even advertise. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And
come over
we'll
here.
design it. We don't give a shit. Have 2 men on top of the cake, 2 women.
Whatever.
We don't do women and dogs or men and dogs, but we got to draw the line.
Don't jump the species barrier, ladies.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming.
Do not jump the species barrier.
That's what's coming.
Yeah. Okay.
So
great.
I just don't see the opportunity. I highly recommend. I'll try to find the link and put in a banner. Morgan Freeman gave one of the best interviews on this.
Morgan Freeman, great
individual. Morgan Freeman. And
great individual.
They thought, and you could tell during the interview, they hired him and thought they were going to walk him into this and be like, yep, blah, blah, blah. And he told him, he says, you know why I succeeded? Because I tried. And that's the theme of it. I'm paraphrasing. But race nowhere hindered him or whatever. He just chose to succeed. And so he did. He did what a white person would do, what a Hispanic person, a female, the same thing. If they would have followed in his footsteps and did his work ethic, they would have succeeded. He just did it.
To succeed, you have to have a plan and exert some effort.
Right.
I'm sorry,
it's not going to fall in your lap.
No.
But a lot of these people use it as a crutch. Oh, I didn't get that job. Yeah, I dropped out of high school.
Right.
But I didn't get a job because the way I looked or my religion or race or whatever. And it doesn't, because the person they hire they're trying to make the most profit they can. So they want the best employees they can get.
Of course.
I can tell you, no company gives a shit about anything. And that's what we have to get back to. I have no problems with any part of the diversity statement definition. If they're the best employee, have at it.
Absolutely. Qualifications.
Right. None of that should even come into the equation, which the Supreme Court's actually ruled now that college can't use that as part of the admission process.
Nor should they.
Now, I was at the engineering school when one year the computer glitched. It was hilarious. The computer glitched, and they use gender very definitively. It is kept at 50-50. And so one year the computer glitched, and I think it went like 75-25, and it actually probably went maybe the best people went in. It didn't keep the gender quota. So it was like 75% girls came in that year, and all the boys like, whoa, yeah, there's going to be so many girls. It was so exciting. And but think about that for a second for all the women that the next year you didn't get in, even though you were better. You were better.
No, you got to swing it back the other way to make it
you were better.
Equitable.
Yep, we can't.
You're out of luck.
Right. And so they didn't get accepted because of their gender. They had a better GPA, better qualifications, better everything. And nope. Whether you stand or squat to pee matters more. And I think that's where we'll end up covering on this, just how foolish this whole scenario is.
Yes.
Is a little mess like that. That really matters.
Yes, it does. It's anti-freedom. It's anti-respect for the individual.
Right.
Frankly, it's anti-American.
But what would you say?
In my opinion. And yes, I'm getting in trouble, folks. I recognize that.
What would you say if... Boy, this is... It's tough to say because it's a hypothetical, so I'm going to get bitched out for saying it. But let's just paint a scenario, a what-if scenario.
Okay.
So let's say we passed a law where you can hire or not hire for whatever reasons. And it goes back to what we said a while ago. If a company hired just on that, well, I'm going to have one of every race, one of this, and they build a company, and this person over here says, well, I'm going to hire the best person. I don't care what they look like. I don't give a shit.
Right.
And so they hire the best. In America, I agree with, if a company wants to hire somebody based on that, go ahead.
That's their business.
But if I want to hire somebody
literally
just strictly on
merit.
qualifications and merit,
yes.
work ethic, resume, I'm going to ask the previous bosses, that also should be an option. And
of course
so
it should.
which company is going to succeed? I can guarantee you I know.
I'll tell you right now, I know. Yes.
One's going to work a lot more efficient, a lot better, and it's going to make a better profit. It's just the way it works. And so that's maybe to the people that are out there crying about the world ain't fair because blah, blah, blah. I would tell them to just better yourself.
Exactly.
That's the whole theme for this, is to
Sorry, folks.
stop.
Stay in school, exert yourself,
Yeah.
learn something, have a plan, make it happen.
Right. And your skin color, gender, whatever,
That's not the factor that so many people on the left.
nobody cares.
No,
I might not agree
honestly,
with it.
no one cares.
I might not agree with it, but when it comes to work,
Like to your
Work is
example
work.
with the individual at the gym.
right.
Great guy, 100%, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hired.
No doubt. I heard him on the spot. Yeah.
Skin color, who gives a
Right.
shit?
He was the best person for the job.
He was the best person for the job.
And that's what we got to get back to. So if instead of crying about you should hire me for whatever reasons, how about you prove to be equal? How about you have the same work ethic, be as intelligent, have the same education and qualifications?
I think this treads to the tendency in this country that has become a thing now, where people get free shit.
That's what it's. I don't have to work for it. I shouldn't have to go to
I shouldn't
college.
have to work for it because of whatever.
Right. I'm special.
Name it. I'm
special.
somehow special.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a trophy. Give me my free shit. Our society has become a cesspool of wanting free shit.
Right. And that's not a race thing either, gender, whatever. There's every combination of everything that are just sheer lazy and don't want to work and earn it. They want to be given. And that's across the board on everything, and that's what we got to nip in the bud.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't
that
know
has
where
become a toxic
And I don't know if
tendency in this culture.
that's a school topic. Like, that would take a whole show probably. Like, where are these kids being, where's
Instructed.
the airs being let out of their cell? Like, some point they're told and brainwashed into, you'll never be this. You'll never be this. And they believe it at some point because they quit and give up.
I'll dive into a personal story. I know I've referenced it before, but my fiance that passed away a few years ago, she was a special education teacher. And when she saw certain kids of particular ethnicities start to succeed and get ahead and actually, start to make something of themselves, the other kids would rein them back in and bully them.
Because they're raising the bar for the class too high?
I guess
They're
because
scared they're
going to
have to do more?
or they're just acting different than
Well, you
that
know what?
crowd
That
wants them.
brings up a good point, because I remember when Trump was running for office as president, I remember a lot. Was it Joe Biden that said, "You're not black"?
Yes. If you're not voting Democratic, you're
Not black. And so it goes with this whole
Come on.
black people are not capable of independent thought, I guess, in their eyes. So who's the
No,
racist here? Somebody that says
It's absolutely racist.
that you're not entitled to
That you
think
would
for yourself.
presume
That you can't think for yourself.
you can't think for yourself, and judge facts and opinions and,
Yeah.
you know,
Make your own
stances
decision.
on public policy. You can't think about that?
No.
Shameful. Absolutely
So I
shameful.
think that really...
And if I were a black person, I'd be like, who the hell are you talking about?
They lost. If you notice, 2024, Trump ran... I don't know the final statistic, but I know it was the highest amount of black people voting for the Republican.
Trump made huge inroads into the black community.
And so I'm thinking comments like that.
Literally from, I don't know, the Johnson administration, you know, Great Society BS,
right?
That sort of thing back in the 60s. No, it's racist as hell.
Yeah. And I think that's what is pushing this whole movement now. Like, you know what? Black people have given Democrats all this time. And what's changed? It's 2024. What's changed?
According to them,
Nothing.
It's gone backwards because other ethnicities are just so evil and out to oppress others that, they're never going to get ahead. That, ladies and gentlemen, is absolute BS.
Right. We've had people bring up racism and all this stuff. Like, we've had a black president. Like, you look at around the... I'm not a huge sports person, you know that. But, like, Tiger Woods at golf. Like, he dominated golf.
He did dominate golf.
The Williams sisters in tennis. I grew up playing tennis. So I
Serena,
that.
I believe.
Serena. Well, her sister Venus dominated first. And then the little younger sister came along and...
I'm not a sports expert either, so I can't speak definitively.
And so I try to imagine they succeeded beyond normal standards.
Colin Powell.
4-star
general.
Right.
Secretary of
State. I can't believe that... I ain't going to say racism doesn't exist. It always will. Because there's always going to be somebody that is racist. Like, it's...
In every direction, though, however. Right. I'm sorry, there's racists all over the place.
There's racists of every colors.
Of every color.
Like, there's probably Latino or Hispanic people that hate white people or hate black people. And there's every combination that I'm this and I hate other that exists. It's going to always be that way.
I think that's human nature, and as unfortunate as that may be.
Right. And that's, as long as the number's small, that's, the smaller the better. That's we can never eliminate it. Just get it as small as possible. I didn't think it existed much, and then, like we talked about, it all of a sudden erupted into a damn fire, on the news every day, police, all this stuff. Well, I ain't going to get in. I don't want to even get into all that, how just garbage all that was.
That's a disaster, yes.
Yeah. And so we'll finish up with the I, the DEI. So I think...
Inclusion.
This is going to piss off a lot of people when we get onto this topic. So inclusion means we kind of want a workplace where we know there's going to be differences, but we're going to welcome them.
Okay.
And so...
To what extent?
Well, here's the thing. So let's use this whole...
There's a difference between including someone and kowtowing to every wish and whim.
I have no problem in including somebody's beliefs as long as it doesn't hinder somebody else's beliefs. And we'll use this transgender thing. If you want to hire a transgender person, for example, and like we'll use the bathroom, like we're going to be inclusive. You can use so how does that work? You hire them and they go, let's just say like a man into the women's restroom now. The women employees there in the women's restroom are probably going to feel uncomfortable now that there is essentially a man.
That's pretty well documented.
In the restroom there. So you're going to hurt, let's just say...
I saw that firsthand at a company I worked for. Granted, it was quite a while ago.
Right.
But there was a man transitioning to a female, for real,
Right.
back when it was not in vogue.
Right.
And this individual went into the female bathroom and
Hell broke loose.
hell broke loose. Well phrased.
Well, here's the thing on
So
this.
he was allowed to use, I'm sorry, I beg forgiveness. The individual in question was allowed to use a neutral man-woman bathroom.
But that's the company. Like, look at the cost now. The company now has to maybe knock some sheetrock out and build a whole nother restroom
to accommodate that.
For that. And who companies, again, it's hurting their profit.
Ultimately, yes.
And
or schools for that matter.
Right. And so
does a young teenager who has somehow been allowed to make this life-altering decision,
right,
are they allowed to use the opposite sex locker
so
room?
Here's the thing. So inclusion, so you hired this person because I won't, look at me, I'm not whatever, racist, homophobe, anti-transgender, so I'm going to hire some, right? So I can say, hey, look at me, I'm not.
Hey, look at me, I'm this, yeah.
Right. So you do that. And here's the problem. And I've dealt with this. I've seen it at multiple companies. So you hire them. Now they're in your company. They just screw up. It's unimaginable how much they screw up stuff. And so they cost a company millions, and you're not allowed to fire them. Now, I've seen this firsthand.
Oh, they're absolutely untouchable.
And so now you've got somebody on salary, let's just say $50,000 a year, and you have to withdraw them from responsibility because they're costing you.
They're costing you a lot of money.
A lot of money. So just sitting at your desk and play solitaire all day, and now they're getting paid $50,000 a year.
But they're untouchable.
And you can't fire them. And so this, again, circles back to, if that's the case, if you have to hire based on this quota system, that's probably going to come into play. Should I even hire a blank, fill in the blank? Because I know I can't fire them. I can't fire them.
No, and the manager's making a phone call to the legal department, like, what can I do?
Right.
And legal's like, suck it up. Yeah.
Transfer them to a different
because
department.
We're staring down the barrel of a very large lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the whole inclusion thing, it's the whole DEI topic itself, like, it's a thin line on the what do you accept. And I think that's where the owner of the company should have the right to say yes, no, whatever. Like, if he wants to go that route, I think he should be able to.
America's the great melting pot. Always has been.
Yeah.
Since colonial
We're
times.
the last beacon, so who doesn't
We
want to
are
come here?
the last beacon.
Right. And your whatever combination you are, if you're overseas, there's a market here for you. If you come here at let's just use ethnicity or whatever, you could open a restaurant to sell your homeland's food, and people's gonna be like, wow, I've never had this before. It's so good. You'll succeed in America.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of
I
America.
think we're pretty freaking welcoming and including. I don't care what you say. If you're a transgender person or a person of a particular sexual orientation, go over to Saudi or Iraq and see how well that works out for you.
Well, that's what I have a problem with when people want to cater unconditionally. Let's just use women, for example. So women, let's say we magically accepted more Muslims into the country, and we had a town, Dearborn, Michigan, so where the population's overwhelmingly of a certain religion that says no, women here do not have rights. Women can't drive.
Sharia law.
Sharia law.
Sure.
So if you have to then, women have to agree then, that's true. They should be allowed to do that. So by pushing this whole like open border. We did a great episode on immigration. If you allow and agree with that, your rights are in jeopardy, and you can be overturned and become literally less than the house cat can have more rights than you. You can't drive. You can't be seen in public unless you're escorted by somebody.
You suddenly become subject to the whims of the new majority.
Right. And so had you rather draw the line and say, this is America.
No, this is our culture.
This is America, our standards. If
our
you come
standards,
here, you
our
have
laws.
to obey
Yes.
this. In America, what we actually believe in, it's minuscule. Like, we don't have very many rules. Come over here, don't hurt anybody.
Right. Don't be a dick.
And as long as your religion
Don't steal
views,
unless you're the government.
right, coming up on a later episode, probably.
Absolutely.
But like, as long as your religion, views, opinions, what have you, does not hinder or prohibit or harm another person, nobody gives a shit.
Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, very few people actually do give a shit. This is a pretty welcoming society.
And it's the same thing with, like, when you pick a friend. Do you hang out with somebody based on their skin color, or do you hang out with them because dude,
they're
that
a nice person
makes me
Yeah.
laugh. Oh my God, I have a blast hanging out with this person.
Yeah,
That's
just
all that
because they're a
matters.
decent sort. Yeah.
Right. We get along great. We laugh, have a good time. That's all that matters. It's the same way, and that's America is. It's not wrong to pick people and hang out with whoever you want to. Because they did a study. There's an interesting study they did, though. So they picked, I don't remember how many students of white and black students.
Okay.
And what they did, these students had never mingled. Like, it won't just from the same school. It was from a big area where a lot of these students didn't know each other. And they were going to have like a little conference or something in this massive auditorium area. And so they had all these tables and chairs lined up in this huge room. And they let the students in and just let the cameras roll. And guess what happened?
They were fine.
It was fine, but what naturally happened was
Or they naturally separated.
they naturally
Yes,
separated.
yes,
All
yes.
the blacks went here and the whites went over here. And it's like, that's... And that gets into like...
How old, though? What age?
I think there was like the high school, like kids and stuff.
Well, I'm going to throw something in the face of that. Look at little children. I mean, like toddlers.
They don't give a shit, dude. Kids don't care.
Dude, they literally
They don't
care.
see.
They don't see that. That's not a thing.
Kids don't
They haven't
see.
been indoctrinated.
Right. And I
with-
think it's a learned behavior from
It's
somewhere.
a learned behavior from somewhere.
And
Absolutely.
whether it's family, school system, well, what have you.
Peers, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, you're talking about maybe early high school age.
Yeah.
By that time, I think it's already too late.
Yeah. And so I think it's sad that, I don't know. I think America is the last beacon of hope.
We
for-
are. If America
the-
falls, as far as freedom
It's gone.
and open-mindedness, the rest of the world's doomed.
Yeah.
We are it.
And so
And don't kid yourself.
at
ladies
other
and gentlemen.
countries, like, they enforce way more than we do. So
Oh, dude, go to
freedom-
Saudi. If you're a homosexual,
Yeah,
you're
go
going
over
to get
there.
thrown off a building
you'll get killed.
or put into a cage,
Right.
doused with petrol, and they'll light the shit.
Right. And I think that's where
Just
people
because.
have to realize in America, whatever you are, you're considered equal, but you have to play on the same level playing field. Like, that's the thing. When you apply for a job, it's not, hey, I got this. I dropped out in 8th grade, but you know what? I'm whatever religion, I'm going to be whatever. And
Right. I dropped out in 8th grade.
But I'm gonna get this job.
I still want the $60K
yeah.
a year job
And so
because
I
I
think,
deserve it somehow.
I think that's what we got to focus
No,
on.
give me free shit. Give me free shit. That's
Right.
what is wrong with our society.
They're entitled, and
It's
it's
awful.
they call it protected class, and that's the whole problem. It comes with entitlements, and that's what draws people in. It would not surprise me if the next generation, like long after we're gone, if they find out a lot of people chose to be that just so they can reap the rewards. Imagine you're a failed male athlete and you said, you know what, I'll never succeed at running the 1,000 meters or whatever because I'll get beat by all these dudes. But you know what? If I put on a dress, I can be number one because I can beat women. So I think success is driving people to make the decision instead of them actually being that way. It's just, look at me, I'm spotlight. I can write a book. I'll get a book deal.
Look at me, I'm special. Yeah, I can get a book deal. Oh, look, I'm oppressed. No, you're not.
Right. And so it'll be like all this that comes with that opportunity of.
Yes.
And I think, man, I don't know.
I'm telling you.
The way.
Gimme.
Right.
That's what this society has.
So how would
devolved into?
So how would to level the playing field then? And I think we're starting on it. We mentioned schools, like colleges now can no longer use like race and stuff into the admissions process. So I think, again, the better student gets into the school, and I have no problem with that. And I think companies would be smart to do the same thing. So now we're circling around the whole DEI. So these companies, I didn't know this until I read an article, and that's kind of what spurred me. I was like, because a lot of people may not know this, these companies are paying an absurd amount of money to this DEI corporation company to monitor data and monitor this stuff, right?
There are activist investors and activist investment companies that are helping ram this crap down everyone's throats.
And I think what these companies now are realizing is, damn, it's costing my company so much money. This wasn't the best employee. I tried, and they failed. I tried to hire the XYZ person
to fill a quota,
but it's costing me. I had to hire, for every two of those,
someone
I had to
else,
hire a legit engineer, legit something
someone
to do
who's
their
willing
work,
to work,
to cover their slack. And the companies, like, they're having to pay this organization to monitor all this stuff.
Go woke, go broke.
Right.
How many times have we heard that?
We've seen it in the movies.
Bud Light, Target, Disney, the list goes on and on. Now movies. Jaguar has made an enormous faux pas. All in, 100%.
Every other company is
all
running
in.
And like, we're going to make it work.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Jaguar stock over the next 6 months and see what happens after that.
Maybe I'll post a graph over right now for, like, let's just say the last year. I'll maybe post a picture, and then
let's do that.
And then we'll see what it is.
My amazement, though, is watching failure after failure after failure, and yet some companies are like, that's a good idea. We're going to try that. Like, are you fools?
Right. The definition of idiocracy.
The definition of insanity, I believe. Yes, absolutely. Same thing.
It's
in this case, same thing. Yes.
Yeah. So, I would like to see a country where I like freedom. I love freedom, and let's say
freedom. And I'm sorry, America. It doesn't get more welcoming than this country.
Right.
If you're a migrant coming from, I don't know, Syria or wherever, are you getting into Switzerland? Yeah. No, you are not. Are you getting into Poland? No, you are not.
Well, that goes back to
And I'm not criticizing them at all because they're sovereign nations and they have a right to choose their future.
Right. As every country has their beliefs. It ain't my job as an American. My country's better than yours, so you
But is it right for you to run away from your country?
Right, and go in there
seeking something else and coming there and saying, "Oh, no, you're going to do it our way."
It don't work that
Even though the country you're going to has been around for 1,000 years.
When I was in dietitian school, one of the classes was cultural acceptance, where I had to recognize my client is this, whatever religion, whatever, and I had to treat them different. This culture, I'm learned you don't look them in the eye. Don't talk because that's a sign of aggression. So I had to learn. This is America. We look at people in the eye in America. That's a sign of trust.
But how many different cultures are you going to learn?
Well, they come into me. I'm an American. If I was a dietitian in America,
you chose to come here. Maybe not even legally.
It's not my job to learn your culture.
Exactly.
You learned my culture.
I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt said, there's no room in this country for hyphenated Americans.
There's not.
If you come here, you learn our culture. You speak English, which, I'm sorry, regardless of the Constitution, that is kind of the de facto language of this country.
It is. By default. All your road signs.
Whether everything. Or not it says that in the Constitution, which it doesn't. America has no official language, by the way. But predominantly English is the language of this nation.
Right.
And you chose to come here. Guess what?
You abide by our rules. That's the thing. You can't come here. Let's go back to like the Muslim stuff. You can't come here and say, my wife can't drive. You can't force that on a woman in America. Now, your wife could choose not to drive, but if she wants to drive,
of course she can choose.
Here in
but
America,
that's her right.
She can drive. Period. No exception. And so you carry over all these exceptions, and people think, but this. No. Here in America, we have our definitive views. Our Constitution. And you can't make exceptions based on
We have our own laws, our own culture.
Right.
It's American.
Right.
Welcome to the United States.
Right. And as long as you abide by those, I don't give a shit. That's the thing. And so I think that's where this whole trend has to go towards, is more of a... I would like to see it more on their end, on the people that are part of the alphabet group, that it's not a I'm special, and hold theirself to the same standard. You're either smart and good enough for the job with the work ethic or whatever, or you're not.
It shouldn't be because you belong to X, Y, or Z.
Right.
It shouldn't be because of that.
Right.
No. Have a dream, make a plan, go to school, learn the skill.
Right. And be the best person you can be.
Yeah, you know what? Just be the best damn human being you can be.
Yeah, just be the best. And here's the real thing. Be an example to the other people for the next generation. Instead of crying about it and boo-hooing.
Good point. Very good point.
To your kids, you can say, look, I'm this way and I succeeded.
Or I didn't succeed.
So you can't.
Choose another route than the one
Right.
I did, because I messed up.
Right.
And you know what? As a parent, I think that's okay. Maybe even brave to say that. Yeah. Like,
well, we've all failed at some.
We have all failed at some time or another. Absolutely.
Right. But you know why I failed? It wasn't due to my gender, race, whatever. Like I made it good enough in some areas in life. In some areas I'm not good at. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. You gravitate,
of course they do,
and work in your strengths, and don't obviously be headstrong and go into your weaknesses. I'm going to be a career in this. I cannot spell. My vocabulary is about a third, fourth grade. I'm never going to be in a field to do that. That would be stupid, where I'm all math, science, engineering's my baby. That's what I'm good at. Why would I defeat myself and set myself up for failure?
If you're a small-statured guy and can't see,
yeah,
are you going to play pro football? Yeah, somehow. I don't think you are.
Right. And
so don't push that.
Right. And there's a reason. I promise you, everybody points the finger and says and calls everybody names, but there's probably a reason. Just like you may be uncomfortable around XYZ, guess what? When you are so extreme in your views and beliefs, you may be making the other people uncomfortable as well. It works both ways.
It works very much both ways.
And we never get to see that other side of the equation.
A guy wearing a dress at work, is that appropriate workplace attire? Is it? Really?
Right.
Take a good look.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Army, like women, men, like the whole... We ain't gonna. I don't even want to get.
No, don't even.
Oh,
don't
Lord.
even.
We
can talk about our woke military right now. Which I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the military is supposed to be a combat force, not a social program.
Right, and it's not meant to be a look at us. We're equal. Like
it's not.
DEI.
No, it's a combat force.
Right. You're either good enough to cut the muster, or you're not. Period.
Don't get me started.
So any closing thought? Like what? I would just like to see.
These are our opinions, ladies and gentlemen. We have a right to them.
Right.
If you don't like it, that's fine. Have your opinion. But
yeah, nobody has to watch this and be like, agree with us. I'm sure we'll get some hate messages and all this on it.
Absolutely, we will.
Everybody's entitled.
Everybody's entitled. But you know what? That's America.
It is America.
Embrace America.
Right. And I like the freedom.
Embrace it.
I'll embrace the positive. And guess what? I'll respond to the negatives too. I don't think we personally said anything negative. We're stating facts on what's happened, where we are, and where we would like to end up.
It will be interpreted that we said negative, evil stuff. Yeah. It will be interpreted.
We're going to be fill in the blank, the group, blank ist.
Yeah, fill in the blanks. Yes, we're going to be
But I'd just like to see America equal across the board. Who gives a shit?
Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Judged on the basis of your character.
Right.
There it is.
And now look at it.
Challenge me on that.
He would roll over in his grave if he could see this. So
yeah, challenge me on that one.
Yeah. So I think that's a good quote to end on. Like, the one that fought for all this, the leader of the whole movement, and that quote. I think that's a good way to end it. Nobody can deny that.
You can't deny that.
Nobody can disagree with that statement that he said.
Absolutely.
I'm going to look up the exact quote and probably put it in the banner, like exactly quote word for word.
From the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, the I Have a Dream speech.
Right.
It's from that.
And so
he said it himself, judged not by the color of their skin, but by the nature of their character.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing. Forgive me if I didn't get it exactly right, but there it is.
Right. So what can we talk? What's another future show idea we can do? What can
let's talk about future shows, please.
Maybe government. You want to talk some more like conspiracy?
We can do some more conspiracy stuff. That's always fun and amusing.
Yeah.
The drone phenomenon happening right now.
We do have a massive drone problem.
What is that?
We could talk about that.
What is that?
You want to do that?
Let's do that.
Okay.
That's
Stay tuned,
wild.
Everybody.
Something wild's going on.
Yeah.
And as of this moment, we don't know what it is.
So it's mid-December 2024, and we're having a massive drone
Yes, it's
phenomenon.
mid-December 2024. Drones intruding into our airspace. Or are they intruding in our airspace?
Right. Let's talk about it. We'll do that. Let's do the drone thing.
That's going to be a wild one.
But that might fall into the conspiracy side still, because we're going to discuss crazy, kooky theories, maybe. I don't know.
Little crazy kookiness, little fun, little this, little that. You never know what you're going to find on the thin line.
Right. So I think we'll end there with the Martin Luther King quote. I'll pull it up, put it on the board.
Please do.
And then everybody stay tuned for the awesome drone topic. We'll talk about that. G, always a pleasure, buddy.
Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Like, subscribe, drop a line in the comments if you like, didn't like, if we missed a topic that you would like us to discuss. Have a future show idea, drop it down and let us know. See you, everybody.
Yes, future show ideas, please. Let us know.
Yep.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Peace out, everybody.